Okay, moving on to Twitter. Again, this one, keep it short. 280 characters makes that really easy. Y'all are lucky. It's no longer 140 characters. It was really hard to get your point across when it was half of that. Now you have a little bit more time to explain a situation to a customer, to talk about a really cool event that maybe isn't succinctly, summed up. So it's key to keep it short. Here, images can help, but asking for balance is so important. So this is a picture of my feed that I just took earlier today. Again, Greenlight Books is featuring. That's not fully intended, but anyway, you can see here, and then down at Jimmy Van Bramer, he's a city council member, and he has a picture there on his official account that is him being interviewed. Greenlight has, I think it's an upcoming event, and then you have Stories Bookshop kind of there with just a text link. Who noticed the Stories Bookshop tweet until I said something? Anybody? No, because the images pop up at you. Now, the reason why I say keep it mixed up is because I was scrolling through the feed trying to find a part of my feed that did not have images, and I could not find anything. So keeping it mixed up helps your user kind of know that you're not just always trying to grab their attention. It becomes white noise if you're doing the same thing over and over and over again. And again, it's that give and take aspect of social media that's so important. And then the other thing, engagement. I could not stress how important this is. So retweet and reply and really build a community. Being a business, you're part of a community, right? You are here in Williamsburg maybe, and you don't live in isolation. Your customers don't either. So when they come to you, they want to see that you're as engaged as they are. That doesn't mean that you should be doing anything that's off-brand, but it's just a good idea to, if you see, I'm going to use a coffee shop example. If you see a article about, Americans are loving cappuccinos more than lattes, you can post that link on or retweet it from whoever wrote that article, and then ask your followers that question of like, well, what do you say? How do you prefer your coffee? Those sorts of things. Again, it's keeping the engagement, it's keeping it on brand, but it's not making it me sort of show. And then reply, again, Twitter is one of the highest engaged audiences, as I mentioned, and is also one of the places where if you're having a customer service problem, you come to Twitter because you know that it's fast. Things in Twitter, they can get out of hand, with how quickly things move, but they can also be the place where you can get the quickest response. So, for example, at the library the other day, we noticed that one of the apps that we use was out of service. And we're like, well, what's going on? Well, we went to Twitter, and they had updated their page to show that, yes, we're having some service issues, and please be patient. And the MTA, I don't know if any of you use the MTA Twitter accounts for updates on your morning commute, but I sure do. And again, I don't envy their social media manager, actually, because it's a very tough job, I'm sure. But, that's a place where they can send you updates. They can say specifically, X is happening, here's the solution, and really keep that audience engaged, and they know that they can turn to you if they have issues. So then here again are two examples of really highly engaged and I think unique Twitter accounts. Going over to Netflix, each of their shows has their own account, and this is bigger corporate than I know that you guys would be using, but they're a really good example of voice of business. Their Stranger Things accounts are very nostalgic, like the show, and really key into that audience. Jessica Jones. If you want to be cursed out, just go to their Twitter account. It's a very voicey, very snarky account and very on brand. And then here on their Netflix, they're retweeting all of that, and all of their content, again, is on brand for each of their shows, but then them as a network as a whole. So then for Warby Parker, I wanted to highlight them. They are a startup glasses company, and I think that they do a really good job of highlighting, again, that balance of content that is related to their brand, but isn't necessarily always asking something of their users. So here they have a philanthropic branch of their company, and so then this is them telling that story. They're not saying, go buy our glasses, or here's a new line. They're saying, look at this cool thing that we're doing, and that's it, and just really keeping it simple. And again, they both have very diverse news feeds, so just really keep it interesting for their users. So then moving on to Instagram, before I go into filters, who already is using Instagram for their accounts, for their businesses? Okay, I see a smattering of hands. This one is probably the hardest sell for businesses, because there's not as clear, a customer clicks on this thing and they buy the thing. It's more about building your brand, and that can be a little bit frustrating, but in the long run, also very rewarding. You wouldn't think that using the same filter on every single picture that you take can make a difference. But it really, really can. It just kind of seals in your brand, so that when people look at a certain type of content under that filter, they're automatically making associations with your brand. Updating your stories. So you don't want to use Snapchat, because maybe that's not where your demographic is. However, Instagram Stories is offering kind of the same thing, but for a different set of users. So over here, you can see, here's the library, here's a few personal people, but you see the Met Museum and Brooklyn Botanic and a lot of different brands making use of stories. That can be a really good place, again, if you have an event going on, or just something that's a little bit more mundane, that can just be a snapshot into your store and your business. You can update those a little bit more often, a little bit more frequently, and it just puts your brand in front of more people's eyeballs a little bit more frequently. And then hashtags, they are your friend. They can be really fun. You can have things that are specific to your business, but there are also a lot that are already built around what you're already doing. In the book world, there's this hashtag called Bookface. I don't know if anybody's ever seen it, but it's pretty fun. You take a book that has an object or a face on it, and you match up your body part into that. And it doesn't have anything to do, exactly with the library, but you're kind of reaching the same audience. You're reaching book people. If you're a pet store owner, there's something called Catterday, where you take a picture of your cat. And so you can make sure to post something on Saturday so that you are reaching that audience that's highly engaged pet owners. So then again, here are a few really, really good examples. This is a local coffee shop. Again, their pictures aren't like, here's our business, here is exactly what we're doing. It's reaching that Instagram aesthetic. So it's a coffee shop, it's some of the food they offer, all kind of in that really bright colored motif for them. So they've found their filter. They have found kind of the lifestyle of the person that they're trying to reach, and they're just really leaning into it. Over here is Wayfair, an online furniture company. Again, it's not, their products kind of living in isolation. It's a lifestyle shoot. For them, a lot of Instagram is all about lifestyle. So you're selling what your brand can bring into that person's lifestyle. Whether it's really pretty coffee art and yummy pastries or mid-century modern furniture or, those sorts of things, it's how your brand will get brought into the business or into their lives. Here again is the Brooklyn Public Library. We kind of have a blue tint to all of our pictures. Our colors are blue. We have a few videos and those sorts of things that are more blatantly self-promotional, but still trying to lean into kind of the handcrafted lifestyle sorts of things. And here, you can even see the difference between our pictures. They're a little crunchier. They're a little bit more lived in, and that's totally okay. Not everything needs to look like it came from a photo shoot. High quality is always good, and you will always want everything to be as high quality as possible. But you can also have things that are a little bit more fun and organic. And then this one is a witch shop that I found in the Lower East Side. And I wanted to point them out because they have videos of, they sell carved candles at their store. And they have a video of them creating one of those candles. And everything's kind of tied together aesthetically and in color-wise. So the second that you see one of their images, you automatically know, who their audience is, who they are.